There we go. So, somebody read for me Matthew 8.
From verse 18.
Thereabout.
The cost of following Jesus. When Jesus saw the crowd around him, he gave...
Is this from the phone?
Jamaica.
Yes.
All right. Matthew chapter 8 from verse 18. When Jesus saw the crowd around him, he gave orders to cross to the other side of the lake. Then a teacher of the law came to him and said, "Teacher, I will follow you wherever you go." Jesus replied, "Foxes have holes and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head." Another disciple said to him, "Lord, first let me go and bury my father." But Jesus told him, "Follow me, and let the dead bury their own dead."
All right. So, what do you think of that scripture?
Sometimes I think it's rude.
It's rude, eh?
Yeah.
Leah,
that
reserved for you, unless you have other options.
Yeah, what's wrong with being rude?
I thought Christians are supposed to be courteous.
Not now. I'm not.
Humility, you know?
Meet Jesus. What else do you think? Talk to me, guys. You just read the scripture. I'm also trying to find out what Jesus meant.
So sometimes you should leave our very beloved family members in Lord Jesus. Sometimes you have to leave some responsibilities in the family and, you know, about Jesus.
Okay. That's a good view. Any other?
Let the dead bury their own dead. Meaning, does this mean that disciples were not dead? These disciples in particular were not dead.
No, he wasn't talking to his disciples. He was talking to a man.
Yeah, this man.
One of his disciples.
was
No, he said to the man, follow.
me and let the dead bury
No, the
their
man said, I want to go and bury my father.
Yes.
Another disciple said to him,
No, it's the same person he's talking to, one person. He said to the guy, follow me. The guy said, I want to go and bury my father. Then he says to the guy, let the dead bury their own dead. So what's the challenge with that? What's the problem with that?
He meant was spiritually dead.
Yeah, spiritually dead. Because it doesn't mean that this guy's father just died. It means that the guy is saying, I will follow you, but let me go back, stay with my father. Until he dies, I bury him because I'm responsible for burying him. Or I'm responsible for him going forward till he dies. Then I come follow you. Do you understand?
But you see, it's kind of the father was already dead.
Speak of, no. Doesn't have to mean that his father is already dead. Because that's the culture and the tradition of the time when he lived in. Do you remember? Okay, read for me Genesis 27. You can copy it. Genesis 27. Read for me from maybe 40, 41, or is it 44, thereabout.
41.
Esau betrayed, wants to kill his brother. Huh?
Esau held a grudge against Jacob because of the blessing his father had given him.
Pay attention to this.
He said to himself,
He said to himself,
the days of mourning for my father are near.
the days of mourning,
For my father are near.
the father was not yet dead.
Mm.
Do you understand?
Then I will kill my brother Jacob.
Exactly. So I'm waiting for my dad to die, whenever that is. Then I'll kill my brother. But the thinking behind that is what I'm trying to show you here. That the guy is saying, let me go and bury my father. Doesn't mean his father is dead today. It's a cultural thing there in the Middle East, in Israel, that as the firstborn, inheritance, remember, is at stake. Because sons inherited, it was a big deal. Like now, my Luo friends are wanting to inherit Okot's wife. Right?
Yes.
It was culturally accepted for you to be around your father as you take care of him as he gets old, not because you really care, but you want inheritance. Or that you are the breadwinner of the family. Right? So if you leave, people are going to suffer. They won't eat again, they won't do anything because you are the one providing. That's why the guy was coming from. But Christ was telling him, you're dead spiritually. If you're dead spiritually, you are as good as these other people, even though they are alive. But they are dead because they don't have any connection with me or to me. Do you understand? But that's dangerous. That we are alive, but we are dead. Spiritually dead. In other words, we are not. Does anyone like to be tickled here? Is any particular person who like to be tickled? Okay, you know what that means, right? You know why I don't like to be tickled? Because the nerve system in your body is averse to being tickled. For some people, it's their under their foot. For some, it's their side. For some, it's their neck. It shows that you are alive, right? If you're spiritually dead, you can't be tickled by God. So how does God tickle you? By what he tells you. So Abraham, he said to him, leave your father's house. Go to a land that I will show you. Is it not the same command Christ was telling this guy? But Abraham obeyed. This man said, no, I need to take care of my old man. Listen, Christ was saying, your old man is already dead because he's not connected to me. You, if you want to help yourself, you come follow me. Otherwise, you go and bury him, you're also dead. Because by the time you go and bury and come back to me, time has passed, isn't it? I may not be here, things may have changed. What do we then do? Also, Christ was saying to this man, the opportunities you have now in me, you better grab it. You know, we don't see it like that. We're consistently planning and putting programs ahead. Why today? We've missed the opportunity. And it may never come back again. There's no guarantee that it will come back again. Except God will have mercy. It may never come back again. Now contrast this man who wants to go and bury the father with the other man who wanted to follow Christ. And Christ said something. What did Christ say?
He didn't have a place to lay his head.
In other words, I am a roaming man of God. Roaming. I'm always on the move. I don't have attachment to house. So I have a tent mentality. Like Abraham. No, not Paul. Abraham. Abraham was the first to give us the tent mentality. Because when he left his father's house, he left his country and his family, three things, yeah? He left a house, and then everywhere he went to, he carried tent. What is tent for? Temporary abode. No permanency. No security. No insurance. When the master says, we go, we go. Now, but I noticed that the guy didn't reply Christ after Christ said that. Did you notice?
Yeah.
So he didn't follow as well. So he's as bad as this other guy. Isn't it? But what is he showing you today? How does that concern you? That many of us have refused God because of the temporality of life. And you say, but Pastor, I'm born again, I'm not refused it. Well, how about the fears and the cares? Or is it not what they are demonstrating? Isn't it? fears and the cares. Please, let's share. We have enough space to take everybody.
Thank you.
What these people are demonstrating is that they care about something or for someone more than they care for God. If you're like that, you can't walk the journey with God. When you're walking with God, God takes the first and the only priority. Hello? Did you hear what I said?
Yes.
If you must walk with God successfully, He takes the one and only priority. Every other thing comes second. Christ understood His when He was 12. Remember the scripture we read last week?
Mhm.
The mom came and the dad were looking for him. For 3 days they couldn't find him. And as a parent, it can be terrifying if you've not seen your 12-year-old boy for 3 days. But they forgot who gave birth to this child, what the angel said concerning this child. In other words, this child is not yours. But it's a mentality you have to acquire, which is the tent mentality. And that's why when God was leading the children of Israel out of Egypt, notice that at some point He guided them by the pillar of fire by night, and then the cloud by day, right? And the Bible says sometimes wherever the cloud settles, they settle there. And when the cloud starts moving, they moved. Because God is trying to say, I am in charge. I started this program. I need you to follow me. And last week we were talking about the good shepherd. How do you know a good shepherd? He goes ahead of the sheep. He's leading from the front. You can compare that with our politicians today who lead from behind. It's true. And sometimes people just make silly decisions that puts the lives of people in jeopardy. I was in Nakuru for a wedding over the weekend. I traveled on Friday with my family. I left Nairobi 4. We got to Nakuru almost 10. Because of that thing on the road. Nothing. Just somebody decided, oh, this side of the road is bad. We need to fix it now. Without considering that weekend is when traffic is increased, right? Now, as we're trying to do that, we're now driving on the other side. As if I'm driving in Nigeria. See, we're driving on the right side. It's true. We're supposed to be driving on this side. Do you know how many people almost got killed? In that transition from right to left, you get to a place where you have the median. People now discover that they have to come back. It was madness. Just one decision. Because nobody's thinking, why are we doing this now? Why is it this weekend? Why? And you making the decision, you're not on the road to see the mayhem you're causing. You're trying to show you leadership. The bad ones, the ones we see politicians. And then the funny thing is that next round of election, we'll all go and vote them in. Because they are from your village. Nobody's asking. And God is saying, if we are not careful, if we're not paying attention to Him, that is the chaos we bring, even to the body of Christ. And I told you how we are interested in fighting for our denomination, our pastor, and what have you. Nobody's fighting for Jesus Christ. Now, why would Jesus tell a man? The man says, I want to follow you. It's almost as if Jesus was giving him an excuse not to follow him, right? It's true, isn't it? But why is that?
I think it's because he already had his disciples already. He already knew who are going to be his disciples that will carry the word of the Lord later, even after he's gone back.
He doesn't reject people.
But when did he reject him?
He didn't reject him, but technically. He just gave him things to chew on.
I think
No, let me take it. Yes?
I think Jesus' message on salvation started even as the journey started, as he's telling. So that choices.
Yes.
So you have to make the choice now.
Yes. That's why. The reason you
He
see.
had made a choice to follow him, and then he
No, but when they give you the things that you will meet along the way, you back out. That means you didn't decide day one. That's the challenge, you understand? It's not just I will follow until, okay, read for me, Matthew
The choice comes with a condition.
Oh, yes, yes.
I work for RMS, but
Yes.
they have to give me a schedule.
Yes.
That I
You
work
come to
on.
work in the
Yes.
morning. Or for those of us who work night shift, you must come to work by this time. Those are conditions. If you won't meet that, then why are we employing you? That's how it is. Read Matthew 10. Read from 34. One of my favorite scriptures. See what you've considered there.
Do not suppose that I've come to bring peace to the earth.
Hmm?
I did not come to bring peace, but a sword.
I told you that when he wants to tickle you, God, what does he give to you? His word. Okay? He said he didn't come to bring peace, but he brought sword. Okay, it's contradictory, but let's continue. Mhm.
For I've come to turn a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies will be the members of his own household.
Okay, so can you connect it to what we read earlier? It says, leave the dead, let them bury the dead. That's disconnect from them if they don't have the view of heaven. See, he says, I bring you my sword, which is the word, right? The word is telling you, separate from them because they are not connected to God. And he's telling you, connect to him. Now, what you don't know is, when you connect to God, he's talking to, there could be a chance to then save these other people. But if you go and connect to these other people and disconnect him, all of you, inside ditch. And then he says that a man's worst enemies are those of his household. You know why? Because those of your household, you deal with them emotionally. And I've told you, anywhere your emotion shows up, devil will use that against you and God. Anywhere. Your emotion is the greatest enemy against God. Your emotion. What constitutes the aggregate of your emotion? Tell me. Am I speaking long English? What constitutes the aggregate of your emotion? What you like, love. What you like or love, or what you don't like or what you don't love. That's the summary of your emotion. It could be persons, it could be things, isn't it? Sarah, tell me now, why are we having side meetings? Talk to me. I'm your guy at the top here. If there's clarity, I will wait for you. Go on. You're sure? All right. I'm saying it openly so I want you to understand how these things work. Now, the man that says, let me go and bury my dad, I bet you that if he waits for his father to die and buries him, another excuse will come up. That's how it works. That's what I'm telling you. You think he does because, oh, let me bury my dad. When Jesus shows up after he buries his dad, he will say, listen, we've not settled the inheritance. My brothers are fighting. Some others live in America. They need to come, we settle, and then we inherit the whatever. Then we can come. There's always excuse. It's never going to go away. So what Jesus is saying is, look the excuse in the eye and walk away. If you're not like that, you can't walk with God very far. Read down, it gets better. Matthew 10.
Verse 37. Anyone who loves his father or mother more than me.
As if he didn't say it well the first time. He's taking it the other way. Jonathan, he's told you, leave these people. Then it says, anybody who loves
more than me is not worthy of me. Anyone who loves his son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me.
What did I tell you earlier? God is the only, first and the only love of your life.
And anyone who does not take his cross and follow me is not worthy of me.
So what is your cross that you're taking as you're following me? Because you must take that cross and follow. These are the words of Christ. I didn't write it. He said it. If he said it, he means it. And it's deadly serious. So my friend is hanging for. Okay. Yes. What is the cross that you carry to follow?
The price you have to pay.
Exactly. And I've told you before, that price differs from one person to the other. The price I will pay is different from the one you will pay. But if you don't consider the price, and the small ones we're asking you to pay, you've not paid it, you're not talk of the big ones. You know there are different levels of cross. Is anybody wearing a chain cross here? Cross on the chain. Anybody? You're wearing a cross. You people are not holy at all. Holy people wear cross. There are different levels of crosses. Big ones.
Which are put in the car.
Yes, in the car, yes, all those ones. There are different levels of crosses to carry, right? And I'm saying, if you've not dealt with the little ones, like there's fellowship, but you prefer to, that boy has been singing some song in your ears, and you go to have lunch with him. Okay, Kadzo, that's what you've been, that's what you've been. Ah, yeah, okay, I'm catching them one after the other. He's been telling you sweet nothing. See what it's called? Miss It's called sweet nothing, isn't it? He's not saying anything, but it makes sense, isn't it? You're in trouble. Oh. I'm showing you the small, those are small cross. And if you notice that cross is attached to your emotion, devil has you. You can't go far. It's true. You must be able to choose God above anything. And I'm using those small pleasures. The boy is not serious. You know he's not serious, but you're enjoying what he's saying. And you're preparing trouble for pastor. Now, pastor will not rest. When the harm is done, it's true. Why I'm using that example is for you to consider things that you do or think about that then becomes core of your life. Because as a man thinketh, it has to be the core of your life. Does anybody have challenge with what Christ said? Do you have a challenge with what Christ is saying?
Does this mean that there are times where you're going to forsake your family for the sake of Christ, and sometimes they are going to segregate you, maybe, for the sake of Christ?
Yes. And it's a good segregation and good separation. If the decision you're making is based on Christ, not on self. Right? Like, I know, because I'm a pastor, I deal with all kinds of things. I know families who want their daughter to marry from a certain tribe. Says who? It's absolute nonsense. You don't marry based on tribe. You marry based on God. Finish. Yeah, it means they won't come to the wedding. So freaking what? Kazo, you're protesting. You should bring your matter and bring it.
I'm not protesting.
Yes. I'm telling you what I've dealt with as a pastor. And parents say they will show up just because of, just try. Not that the man is not employed, or he doesn't have money, or he doesn't love you, or he's just that he's not our tribe. You don't do that and say you're a Christian. You can say do that as an unbeliever, as demon worshippers and devil worshippers. I understand. But not when you belong to the Jesus Christ that I'm talking about. Tribe becomes the first thing. They are mad. All of them. The parents, the grandparents, all of them, they are mad. It's true. You don't do that. So in that case, I will tell you, you choose, make your choice. If you want to marry your tribe, fine. Go marry your tribe. But I won't be part of it. Solve it out. Nobody's saying, have we had God? Is this what God wants? Nobody's saying that. Just try, then we can talk. Yes. So sometimes you take a stand for Jesus and you will be ostracized, you will be banished, you will be hated. Well, it comes with the territory. If you belong to Christ, we expect that to happen. But you know, we don't think about it like this. We get emotional. Oh, but my mom, Somebody say, who is going to give me away on the day of marriage? Are you? That's what is important to you. So, of course, people don't like it, but that's the truth. I was going to tell you, well, reporters, you are here. You can do a reporting on giving names to our children. Do you know how many problems it's caused in this country? It's caused the same everywhere. Africans. You must name the boy after my dad or after my dad's dad, and the girl after my mom's, and the second children or second set of twins, you name them after our in-laws. You should just find out, research, find it. Families are separating because of names. Why should that be an issue?
I experienced that first time.
Yeah, there are other people that experience this here that I know.
The most things that the names that guys are being given
Yes.
are of people who are doing other stuff.
Yes.
And it comes back to the family. And when the guy is up and what's wrong with this
Yes.
boy? And you insisted on giving him a name.
Yes. The father was a drunkard. You
of a
named
guy
him after a
so
drunkard.
that they went with the name.
And the name doesn't mean nothing.
Yes.
Some toilet, something, tree, a road. What's that? Nobody's asking God. Nobody's checking.
Church actually is very serious. It is even in the hospitals. When you ask the name of the child and you give two English names or names they
Yes.
don't have a clan name, they ask for the dad to be there.
Yes.
For them to give that.
Yes. And it didn't start today. It's in the Bible. Remember when John was born? Yeah.
Like,
And the
like
angel
if
said-
my daughter, like for my daughter, when I said she's Eda Hadassah, they said they wanted the dad to confirm that she doesn't have a clan name. I mean, what is that? And it happened to my sister.
I'm
as well.
telling you, I said do a reporting. You'll be shocked the things you'll find out.
We are not going to write that name. The father needs to be here to confirm that.
Let me give you an example.
Okay. Here's an example.
When I have two daughters.
You're on record, eh? Remember you're on record.
No problem. So I have two daughters. I come from the Kikuyu, and you know how Kikuyus are, naming our fathers and our mothers. On purpose, I decided in my heart, through prayers and fasting and all that, I will not name after anyone. And it was trouble, still trouble to date.
What do you name them, by the way?
I name one after faith,
Faith,
love,
love.
and then I'm expecting others.
Eh.
Joy, the fruits of the Holy
Hope.
Spirit.
Hey. Now we're talking. See what I mean? That's the essence of walking with God. Now, you may be looking at the scripture we read. The man said, let him go and bury his father, and you're quarreling with him. It's the same thing if you don't do this. You are just like the man. You're honoring men instead of honoring God. Now, if God tells you to honor a man, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's God that is telling you. Do you understand? That's how it should be.
I tell you, I'm certain.
Now, hands are flying up there.
Yes.
Be ready to answer.
I am so certain that the Lord wanted that.
Yes.
So I am at peace with it, though no one is at peace with it.
Yes. I told you. Yes. Questions? Continue the story. Okay.
So to date, my in-laws are not talking to me. Well, my mother, who was supposed to be named, the first 3 months was trouble. As a Christian, tried speaking to her and explaining to her my faith.
Yes.
So you've got to understand my faith.
Exactly.
Because it's no longer about my tribe. Because I was explaining to them and telling them, before I was born, the Bible says in Jeremiah 1:5 that I was with God.
Yes.
Before I put you in your
He
mother's
knew
womb,
you.
I knew you. So I did not come from my tribe.
Yes.
I came from God.
Hallelujah.
Your tribe.
That's the pastor for the
My
next
tribe.
branch that we're opening. That's the pastor.
Yeah. So I explained that to them that it is not so much my tribe does not come before my belief in God.
Yes, yes.
So I explained that to them, and my mother, who is an elder, tried understanding.
Mm.
Still today, she does not understand, but saying it's okay. But my in-laws, it's trouble, my friend. Today, they don't talk to me, neither my wife, but my wife is so convinced of
Yes.
what we are doing.
Yes. That's how a new breed is formed. Because when God told Abraham to leave his father's house, right? After a while, there's no connection anymore to that. The person do you remember Abraham's father's name? He's there, but we don't, do you understand? It's not, we don't care. we are interested in Abraham because that's where the new started. A new nation God is building. So God is building a new nation with you. So your children will grow up knowing they belong to God and then transfer that to their generation. Now, why would you be looking for generational curses in that sort of life? It's not. It's over.
That's what I wanted to say.
Amen.
Because in every name that we choose from people from
Yes.
our family,
You're
they
still
have
con-
a foundation.
You are connected to the
The
foundation.
foundation.
Exactly.
Because that foundation finds us a lot. And
Exactly.
then you see when the baby is born, you're like, he's just breathing like my father.
Eh.
I mean, why are you pushing
Yes.
that?
He's just walking like
Yeah,
my
he's
grandfather.
walking like my
He looks
grandfather.
like my great grandfather.
We have
Hello.
we have to come out of the foundation. that
Amen.
we were born out. So
Amen.
that we name our kids according to the
Amen.
way that I want.
And then you have a new family going forward. I know what I'm telling you.
What my wife doesn't totally like is when mothers say, "This is me."
No,
I know.
Now that is
I know.
what she detests with all
Actually,
her
this
heart.
is me. Yeah.
So she was saying, you're not her.
In my village, they say this child is my grandmother that came back. Say, you your grandmother nonsense. All of you, out of here. Your grandmother is dead. Okay? Stop looking for your grandmother. He's dead. All of them.
I heard someone say, asking whether my daughter has cholesterol issues.
Yeah?
Since she has cholesterol issues,
Mm.
and the names, I was
I
like,
see.
why
That's
are
the
you having-
expectation.
Yes.
Exactly, because
Yes.
That is expected.
Yes.
just because
That's
she shared the
Yes.
name. No, I was like, I was so upset in my heart.
You rename all of them. Is it not paper? We'll go and change all of them. It's true. Listen, this thing will not be sounding. This is dangerous, by the way.
And the reason why I really concur that there's power of the name, and when you get to that revelation and you want to change those names on paper,
Yes.
it's actually impossible.
Yes.
There's no allocation in our constitution where you can change. Like for example,
No, you can change them. It's just you take long.
It's a process.
It's a very long
No, you cannot. You
I know.
cannot. So you cannot remove. If let's say my name is Eunice Wangeshi Karume, I can change it on my ID. You cannot change it on birth certificate.
You can. You can.
Can't.
What you do is they.
I've known people
If
change.
you want,
You
if
know why you
want your
can't?
name changed,
Even if-
what they do,
Eh.
if you don't want the Esther in front, they take it back. But you
What
can,
I mean
but you
is,
can
if
change.
that child is a minor, you cannot
You
change
can't.
the name
You
of
can't
that
change
child.
the
I have tried.
Just
Even if you
be
give a
Yes.
death certificate of that father who went and
Yes.
you say that you just want her names to remain,
Yes.
they can't change.
Because my mom had a problem. Because me, I only have two names. Zita Jimoy everywhere I go. Like in my ID everywhere. Because I was a single mother. So I didn't use my mother's name. I just used my two names. But before she was given our birth certificate, she had to have a letter from the village.
I know,
from
from
the
chief.
Yeah,
From
from
chief,
chief
yes.
and everyone.
Yeah.
But I told my mom I want only two names. My names are two. Zita Jiboy until now.
Yes.
My birth certificate, my
Yes.
everything is two names.
Yes.
So
Because my sister tried that. My sister got a revelation about the names she gave her children, and they
Yes.
started behaving like that.
Yes,
Family
yes.
knows and
Yes.
So she really tried hard, even to say affidavit and all
Yes.
that. But it can't be changed. What you can do now is just place that name and
Yes.
just refuse everything that is connected to that family.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
for someone who's named already, you've already named your kids whatever, and you want, and you maybe realize there's something attached to that name, can you like pray? Can you sanctify the Holy Spirit?
Oh, that's what she's saying.
Yes, you
Instead of
sanctify.
going,
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
she
Yes.
do you have to be very extreme and even change the name?
Yes.
Or you can just pray and believe in your
You,
heart.
you can do
That-
both when the opportunity to change comes, when
You
they
can
become
change.
adults, they
Yes,
can change.
you can change.
But if you have understanding and take a stand based on the understanding, it's also allowed
Yeah.
by
Let me give you a testimony. My sister is called Farah, but all through she called herself Phyllis. So when she was born in a mission hospital. So those sisters those days, when they were told Paris, Feredi, they just wrote Farah. Yeah, they wrote Farah.
They
But Farah
translated
is
the
a-
language.
Farah is a-
Did it happen to you to
It's true. So all through, when she was growing up in school, in high school, Nini, she used to call herself Paris after our great grandmother, and she passed through a lot of problems because that woman used to say that mimi sitazaliwa, mimi sitaishi milele. So she already killed her generation by saying, she used to say that, me I'll not live forever, me I'll not do what. So you see my sister was named, given that name, and she would write that name as Phyllis now, like the way our great grandmother was named. So she went through difficulties, but God protected her. She would pray and do what, but she would get attacks, as in physical attacks. So after she finished high school and she went to a deliverance class, and she started now getting revelation about these names. She actually went to her birth certificate and noticed that her name was not even Phyllis as per the documents, her school documents. Her name was Farah. So she went again. She went through a process of changing now her names to Farah. And she started telling people, me, I'm not Phyllis, I'm Farah. And until then, her life changed. The attacks stopped. She flourished. Just her life just changed.
So it's understanding that you should have.
Yeah.
What of where you have the understanding, but you don't agree with your spouse?
Yeah, you have a fight in your hand. It is problem.
So what happens then? No,
Just like what he's saying.
Yes.
Like the mother.
no, you see them
No,
agree.
him
No,
and his
him,
wife.
the wife
Him and
agree.
God are together,
Yes.
but
Yes.
they just the war front is just different.
Yes.
Yours is at your doorstep.
Yes.
Mhm.
No, what you
That's
do,
outside.
if that's your position, that I want God, you keep proclaiming God.
Yeah.
That's all. Because now you can't change anything. You're married to the man has refused to change the name, but you have understanding, right? Bring it on. Which is the scripture we're reading in Genesis when Esau decided to kill his brother, right? He said it in his heart,
Yeah.
but he was told the mom, because the mom is the partner with God in that story. Isaac just likes to eat games and tomatoes and onions, but Mama was connected to God. Anything they wanted to do, she interfered. That's how to do it. Okay?
Because okay, let me give my example. Me, okay, when we've agreed with my husband in so many things, but when it came to naming,
Yes.
I knew it because when my mom called me Grace, my name is Grace, she explained why she called me Grace.
Yes.
So I grew up with this thing of naming was so sensitive to me.
Yes.
So every time I used to ask him before he got married, okay, now I know. When I used to ask him, and he used to tell me like, we'll cross the bridge when we get there.
Yeah.
So it really used to hurt me about
Yes.
naming.
Yes.
So anyway, we got married and stuff like that, and the kids came, then I was like, I'm still uncomfortable with this story of naming.
Yes.
So we agreed we won't, on the birth certificate, my firstborn just has Lakeisha, and her name and the dad's name. So when the secondborn came, I told, he wanted, okay, my secondborn is named my lastborn's name, because he wanted to call my secondborn a name that means noble.
I'm confused, but it's okay. Just continue.
So okay,
No,
God
continue,
has
come on.
spoken to me. Okay, I knew my secondborn needs to be called God is gracious.
Maybe you
Yes.
explain
Yes.
how many
Yeah.
kids you have.
I have
That's
three
where the confusion is. How
I have 3 kids.
Yeah.
So my secondborn, I was 100% sure from God because I used to pray.
Yes.
And after I told God is gracious. Okay, God was gracious to me, and I
Yes.
felt I should call him God is gracious.
Wow.
So this name Sean
Mm.
came to me, and I told him, now I think I'll name. I know we should name Sean Kusimba. Kusimba is his name. So I was avoiding this story of like,
It has to be
yes,
forefather or
it's
father.
the name and their name, his name. So we argued. He was like, okay, Sean Kusimba. So I don't know at what point he went behind my back and gave him, the mom called and was like, no, you have to name this baby this.
Yes.
So he gave him a name. I was so annoyed. It was an issue in the family. We had issues, yeah. So I told him, okay, I want you to remove this name from Sean, then I'll give you the name that you wanted to name Sean. He really loved the word Jali. Jali means noble. So I told him, we'll get another baby.
See what happened.
Because of the
You
name.
have that name of yours that you wanted to name Sean, but this one I had from God. God is gracious. So he was like, okay. So now my third born, the mom insisted, and they gave him a name. But now on the certificates, the names are not there, because when we agreed with him, I wasn't for the idea that we named the names that they wanted.
Yes.
But now I discovered, okay, Later now he told me, by the way, those names hata nimeziweka shule. No, certificates za shule and stuff like that. The names are there. But in their birth certificates, they don't have those names. But now what hurts, by the way, I've never healed from that because I felt like he played me. And I usually tell him, I always feel these names there. So when you say that, I'm like, okay.
Yes.
So at some point I was like, is it disobedience? Am I not submitting to him? Is it that? Yeah.
Think about this. See, at times even there's some of us who are named after something.
Yes.
But the name doesn't affect you. Like for example, me, I think I was named after somebody. But even if I
Some
do
guy,
that,
right?
Yeah.
Yes. Some guy like that.
Okay, the parents never, okay, maybe they never thought that this name has to effect. Tries they name you based on the character of that guy. That they want the child to grow like a pastor.
That
like
character,
a
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So they stand string attached, they do that they stand string attached to that name.
But that's what I'm saying.
Interesting. See, but me,
No, let him finish.
I don't believe in those things. Some of them are drunkard, but me, I don't drink. So there is no that string attached to the name.
No, there's a string attached.
God, there is.
There's a string attached.
You have been redeemed, my friend.
That's
why
you're redeemed. Fine.
Because you're in the right
But there's a
position.
string attached to me.
Leave God today, you will see what that name will be.
Yes. Let him finish. Let him finish.
Let me finish.
Yes. Huh?
Okay, see, before I got saved, I came to know more about the naming issue. Okay, after doing some research, such kind of stuff.
See, some people didn't have the privilege of research.
But so what I'm trying to say is this one. So long as your spirit's awake, this thing can't haunt you.
You are redeemed.
Yeah, this thing can't haunt you that maybe I was
Yes.
named after my grandfather. So
Yes.
don't be disturbed that the child somebody played you to name the
Yes.
child.
Yes.
No. You
Speak
need
the right name.
Please the spirit.
Call them the right
Yeah.
name. Pray for them by the right name and move on because of
I've
them.
never called my sons those names.
I know, that's what I'm saying. So that's
I've
it.
never even called them. Other don't. Other than even themselves, they don't like the names.
Yes.
And they don't.
That's okay. So you have victory there. Yes, well, he has a question.
Okay, naming, we have got naming in two criteria. You find that when a woman is married, that okay, some guys believe that she must inherit the last name of husband. So what about that?
That's the tradition and cultures of men. When you come to God, you have one tradition. The God tradition. That's okay. That's it. Yes.
Ours is, I don't know how to put it.
You see why you need to get it in Jeroke? You need to report this thing. You see what I told you?
Me, I wanted to change my name.
Okay.
You know, I'm called Kevin. And they know Kevos.
Let me tell you.
I wanted to change my
Forget. We don't want to
So, us,
Let Kazu speak, yes?
we were given those traditional name Kadzo, and then I have my sister called Kahati, and then I have my brother called Chair and stuff like that. So when we grew up, we were told, because now Kadzo is the older sister to my grandma. So my father always calls me Mama Mkubwa.
Yeah.
And then my sister is the mother, so
Yeah.
I'm with her Mamake.
Yeah.
But now I took the name Kadzo because of the meaning. It means beautiful. So I always tell my dad, I am not your
The grandmother, sister,
Mama Mkubwa.
Yes.
I am Kadzo and I'm beautiful.
Yes.
Period. I took the name because of the meaning. It's beautiful. And I speak beauty, and it speaks in my life all over. And then my sister, because that Kahati has got no meaning, she said, I am not going to take Kahati. I'm going to drop this name because I am not your mother. I will take Tumaini instead because Tumaini is her first name.
Yes.
So she said her name is Tumaini Bunga, period.
Yes. Okay.
And my father is usually very angry with that.
Yes.
When we tell him that we don't want these naming things, and he's like, when you give birth and I don't exist in your lineage, utasumbuana. And he's like,
All right,
it's
so
all right.
I mean, we've made our point today, but here's where we started from. That Jesus asked somebody to follow him. And the man gave an excuse, right? In his case, he was saying, let me go bury my father, right? Now, we've linked it to the other things that we are attached to that we may not have known plays a role in our lives as we walk with God. And it's important that we review these things and understand where we're coming from. Okay?
Pastor,
Yes.
continue. I think about this different interpretation of that word. A brother, a sister, a mother. I feel sometimes we choose to. Okay, yeah. This week, last week, I was in a journey with Christ, and I wanted something from Him. But it got to a point that I told Him, you know, whether you give me or you don't, I'll still remain here. I'll still call you my God, and I'll still, you know, walk with you. You're still my dad.
Yes.
I'll still worship you.
Yes.
I'm here to stay. You
Yes.
know, I'm not going anywhere. I feel sometimes it's not a must be a family issue or whatever something is attached
Yes.
to you. It may be a job. It may be
Yes.
something.
A desire.
You know, let me get that and then I'll
Yes.
come and follow you.
Yes.
You know that
Yes.
thing. You know, I feel sometimes we, you know, I still want to drink more. I'll follow you.
Yes.
Tomorrow I'll follow you.
Yes.
But God says that, you know, you should forsake all.
All.
All that you know
That
means
is true.
to you, all that is part of you,
That is true.
all that is, you know, it means a lot to you.
That is
to
true.
follow you. It's not a must. Don't wait for God, you know, to try you with the family and
Yes.
stuff,
Yes.
you know, naming and stuff. But you know, that thing is so important to
Yes.
you. Maybe
Yes.
a scholarship,
Yes.
okay, maybe something.
Yes.
You know, yeah.
That is true. And I've shared all of that before. How in my earthly family, for example, we have people, a cousin of mine just graduated in university in America. He just got his PhD. This is somebody I was hanging with me in the what have you. He's much younger. In my family, get PhD. Everybody's looking for PhD, you know. Some people have 3 master's degree, 4 master's degree. It's about schooling. But when I met Christ, I mean, now I have just one degree. I would love to because of that thinking and those discussions and what have you. But I've given up to God. Except God makes it happen. It's not something I'm pushing. Not that it is wrong. But there are things that you must begin to consider as you pursue God. That I can go there if I want to, but it's for my pride and arrogance. It's not because it is necessary or it will make my whole life change. Do you understand? So those are the things you need to watch out for. For some women, it's husband. For some, it's children. Something. You need to check all those things. Bring it to a line and say, what's the worst case scenario? I don't have this thing, but I will go to heaven. I will be with God. And in heaven, they are not going to ask how many children you have. Did you marry or didn't marry? Is your leg shorter? Yes.
Sorry, 1 minute. Okay, you
Yes,
see
so we
why
can close.
I really believe in that message of naming. My grandpa, he wasn't born again, but he was so sensitive about naming. I remember when he changed my grandma's name. Kanywa means someone who drinks. He changed my grandma's name to my beloved, Mwenda Wakwa Ankoro. So, like, we all used to call, everyone in the village used to call her Mwenda Wakwa Ankoro. Then now in our community, when, like, we used to name, he used to give names that, like, for building names. And actually he wasn't born again, he was in Mango and stuff like that. And that made me realize that since they used to do all these rituals and stuff like that, he had a revelation about naming.
Yes.
And that's why he changed names for my grandma. And he changed, every time my parents used to name, he would ask them, what is the meaning of that name that you're giving? So, like in our family, even my relatives, we are all named like a character, say like someone who builds, as in someone who brings unity.
Yes.
So he never used to tell them to name like after him, but a character like for building, for bringing peace and stuff like that. So I was like, if this guy is not born again, he
And
was
he
into
knows the
tradition and
implications.
knows the implications,
Yes.
and there's something about naming.
And it's always been there all over the world. Even in the Bible, I remember when I was telling you about John, when the angel came, he specifically said his name is going to be John. And then they zipped the man's mouth because they know the man once he was going to go contract. On that day, it was Mama who was talking. Said, his name is John. And the family protested. No, but nobody bears John in our family. He said, go and show him, say, go. As they got to Mzee, his mouth open, says John. So it's a tradition around the world. People name all kinds of names. But it's important that we understand this. And I don't want us to just narrow today's meeting to just the naming issue. But like she said, there are things that people are dealing with that holds us bound, just the way we think and the way we want to function. Review all of them with God. don't do it just because everybody does it. Ask questions, find out, okay? Pray about it, and God will lead you. Finally, yes.
I think this thing of culture and tradition is disturbing so many people out there.
Yes.
This friend of mine, he was telling me that he met Kikuyus, we have those wazes who deals with culture and traditions. He was telling me that he met a guy, I don't know whether, he said that he's a prophet. He told him a lot of things from his background, his grandfathers, things that used to be done at the home, and all that. Now he was confused. Now me, I don't know these things of culture, traditions. I'm a Christian. How do I deal with these issues? I think it's a real issue out there, even to some Christians. So he was asking me whether how he's able, or which verse he can be, he can understand the way to go.
Is he born again?
Yes. But according to how he was telling me, this guy, he told him everything which he can believe that they are happening at their home.
So if he's born again, why is he worried about people?
But I think it's a real issue. In Kikuyu, you have these wazes who believe in cultures, and actually they are recruiting people
No, I'm
out
saying
there.
the guy should make up his mind. Is he following Christ, or he wants to follow the wazes? That's the issue. It's very simple. Once you follow God, dive into it. Don't play games with these other guys. They will mess you up big time. So that's what I will tell you. Yeah, follow God. Forget about the wazes. They mean something. Do you understand? God allowed the wazes to be there. It's not an accident. But we need to follow God and stay with God and bear the fruit that God wants us to. So, but reporters, you see, you have job to do. You need to enlighten the nations.
Yeah. God, you know, all along Sunday school, we just knew the reason why the mouth was closed. Because he doubted, so he opened. Now listen, that's why the revelation. You speak word.
Yes.
Me when I sit here, that's what I've gotten.
But that's true.
That God had to close his mouth.
Yes.
Till that time.
He's a powerful man. He's a prophet of God.
So let me tell you, for this fellowship, I was waiting for that.
Amen.
Wait for one word. That's for me.
Amen. So God knew if he allowed him to begin to speak, he would be contradicting what God is saying. They put a zipper for him. And the other thing I was going to tell you, these women who wants to marry, that's why you need to be careful. And I'm not saying your husband is not your husband, I met your husband, okay? But what I'm saying is this. No, truly. Where you need to settle scores is in the secret place. Because the man, being the way society has painted the man to have all the authority, all the power, don't challenge him. You're not going to win that battle. He will keep calling his children whatever. But in the secret place where men do not see, you connect to God there. That's where you have power. And one day he will wake up and tell you, I don't even like, in fact, I've discovered the name is poisonous. Let's change it. It's true. It's true. It's true. I know what I'm telling you. You'll just be laughing because you know what you have done in the secret place. So let's take authority more. I encourage the women in the secret place where men do not see. Contact God there. That's where your power is.
No, it's because of emotion. I was emotional.
Emotional,
Emotional.
Emotional. Devil has you once you're emotional. He has you.
Yeah.
He just rings the bell, you respond because of emotion. All right? Praise the name of the Lord.
Amen.
Father, we just want to thank you, we want to bless your name for teaching us the way you do sometimes. I know that these things sometimes sound controversial to some people, but we will rather die with you than go with what men are saying that brings us back to the place of bondage. We do not want to be in bondage, oh God, to anything. We would rather be in bondage to you. Paul will introduce himself as the bond servant of Jesus Christ. We want to be bond servants of Jesus Christ. People that will hear your voice, will listen to you, will do according to your bidding. That's the generation we are raising. And I see that by the time you allow us here to get into the new, to begin to bear fruit, I see that our children will be secure because now we have understanding. We will not name according to what the traditions of men want, but we will name according to the leading of your Holy Spirit. And those children will bear fruit, will shine forth. They will become the hope of a generation, the joy of a generation. And all the fruit of the Holy Spirit shall come through them. We rededicate our children, the ones born, the ones yet unborn.
Yes,
We rededicate them to you. And we say that you are God and they are your children as well. You will also be their God. And your name will be glorified. I give you praise for what you have done here today. For it's in Jesus' mighty name we have prayed and believed.
Amen. Bless you. Anybody new in our midst?
Yes.
Oh,
No, Shiko comes in.
this is a new one. Shiko has been here for 5,000 years.
My name is Naomi, TV Production.
Amen. Karibu
Welcome.
Naomi. Thank you, good people. We'll meet you again on Thursday for fellowship. Remember our choir? It's on Wednesday. 1 to 2.
Yes,
1 to 2 and 6, 5 to 6.
At Chapakazi Studio.
The ones that are happy knows the time.
Yeah, let's join the choir, guys. We want it to be a Christian boardroom. We want it to be a Christian choir, so the more you are, the merrier. Boardroom. Chapakazi Studio.